Well, we are back. I'm gonna set a timer real quick and we're checking in. I'm continuing NaNoWriMo. I can actually pull it up. It was kind of weird how it worked. I didn't want to like lose my winter stats, so rather than like edit the initial project, I just made a new project. Um So it's like my stats have started all over again. Um,
But you're still generating, right? Like you haven't started editing.
no, I'm still in a generating mode. I briefly skimmed over like what I'd written so far, so I did take a couple of days off. And I ran a half marathon, which was fun. It
Jeez.
was great. And then just kind of skimmed over. I gave Jessica what I had made just so she has some proof of like what I'm doing, that I'm not just like losing my mind down in the basement. Um, so, and then I want to give a shout out to Fiverr because I got a Christmas present from Fiverr. They've given me some money to get a copy editor for this thing, so I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
great.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you're
So,
braver than me. Britt actually, my wife asked me specifically if she could read what I had done, and I was like, no, not yet.
well, I give her parameters. I'm like, you can read it, but all you can say is it's awesome. Keep going. And that's been the rule for years. Like
That's
that's
not bad.
that's so I don't have to explain it to her anymore. Now I'm at the point where I forgot that I ever said that to her. And just like, man, she thinks it's awesome. I'm just gonna keep going.
No, that's good.
I've deceived myself.
Yeah, I also went back and read through what I had written, and that was a mistake.
Mm.
I should not have done that.
Yeah, it feels like if it felt like a slog before, it feels like a massive slog now. Like it wasn't until about 4 p.m. this afternoon that I finally finished my 2,000 words. And some of that's I've got a kid home sick and I'm playing nursemaid to him, and I wound up needing to get Solomon early from school and this, that, and the other. Um, but also some of it's just like it just feels like a slog. Like I was getting out of bed at like 5 in the morning. Today I didn't want to get up at all, you know. Um, so I'm in the swamp for sure. Definitely in the swamp.
Yeah, I am too, because I kind of ran fast through one narrative, like one kind of character point of view of my
Hmm.
story, and now I need to go back and tell the other one, but it's like because I've already kind of done it once, that one is entirely the swamp. Like
Yeah.
I don't even get the benefits of the like fun beginning, you know. It's all swamp. And it's also a lot like I like yesterday, I really didn't write much at all. I mostly like went down wormholes of like police procedural stuff. Because now
Yeah.
that November's over, I can do that, you know. Um, I think what I need to do is not use the internet. I need to buy me like a couple of good like police work for writers books and give myself the rule that all I can use is what's in those books.
Hmm.
Because when the entire universe is at my fingertips, I can. There's always that like detail that if I find it, all of this is going to be awesome. And I just need to spend the next 20 years searching for it.
Yeah, trust me, I know that temptation. I've gone, yeah, I know that temptation. Last night I needed to work on the outline and I got caught watching this really interesting, I'll put a link to it, but this really interesting YouTube video about plagiarism. And he's looking largely at like plagiarism on YouTube, but it was crazy. it was some really interesting stuff.
That's
And
the
he,
synchronicity. I've ran into some things that must be like doing what the algorithm likes lately. Because I've seen a lot of stuff about plagiarism too. And it's not something I
yeah,
search for.
I think it's going to become increasingly. I think that question's going to increase as AI increases because essentially that's what AI is doing right now. It's just plagiarizing well. Um,
It's not even
so
plagiarizing well.
yeah, yeah. But it's also it can catch plagiarism too. So like the algorithms can catch plagiarism. So
Well, yeah, that's
um,
how it knows how to generate.
yeah,
It knows how to like take other people's stuff and put it together in a new way. That's
yeah. So those questions are they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But the video was really good. It was entertaining and funny and interesting and weird. But yeah, so I went down a big rabbit hole with that and just didn't really get any outlining done last night. So that's the part that's getting truly exhausting is like outlining the night before for the next day. Um, but like when the outline's done, I mean, a large chunk of it does wind up. I mean, the outline is so like granular that like a large chunk of it does wind up in the book. Um,
yeah, I was gonna say you're thinking about it as you outline the night before and write the next day, but actually you're just splitting your writing like you're outlining so in depth that you're just doing part of your writing the night before.
yeah, I do all the hard thinking about it, and then it makes the writing part really fun because you know, it's fairly quick and painless. But yeah, it also feels like I'm doing the work twice. Um, but I'll be glad. I'm the police procedural stuff like it's like you set it up and you kind of know where it's going to go. It's like the first person's going to be a dummy that they talk to, and then the next person's going to be the one that's a jerk and doesn't want to give them any information. You know what I mean? It's kind of like to me it's like you kind of set the things up and then you knock them down and they don't feel as fresh or lively as like the conversations early on when not everything's like kind of set in stone. I mean, I know as a reader, they're the it's the fun that it's the stuff that's page turners. You know what I mean? Like it's funny to me that like the page turning stuff for the reader is the stuff that for me is like, oh, okay, now I gotta write the guy who's gonna stonewall them, and the next there'll be the guy who makes an unintentional slip up. You know, it's it's like
Yeah,
all this.
I feel the same way. And that it's like there's predictably a like planted red herring and
Mhm.
yeah, the only thing that I have that is making that a little more fun is that all of those characters, those kind of false leads, they have something that they're hiding. And so they look guilty because they're not telling the truth. There is something that they've done that they don't want to come to light and they're hiding it, but they didn't do this thing, you know?
That's good. That's good. Yeah, the thing that's kind of keeping me my head in the game is like all of the guys that she's interviewing so far are like Mormon teenagers from like Manti and Ephraim, Utah.
Yeah.
so, so it's like I had to remember like people in Utah, they don't cut class, they slough. You know what I mean? Like there was like some idiomatic stuff I got to get into, and I don't know. Um,
I don't even know if they say that in Ephraim. It might
yeah,
really just be a like Wasatch Front thing.
yeah, I've wondered about that. I've also wondered about the word um, mountain. Like, in Ogden, you go to the mountain. Like, there's no T in it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if that's just like an Ogden, Salt Lake City kind of thing.
No, that goes back to like the settlers of this place, and they're kind of like bringing their European accents with them, and then the way
Mhm.
they kind of change over time, you know,
Yeah,
that dropping the T's. You can hear it in certain English accents, that like
yeah,
dropping T's.
yeah. But yeah, so I've been playing, with those kinds of things, and that honestly, that's what keeps my head in the game is the minutia, is like this stuff that some readers would probably find boring. Like I actually enjoy peppering that stuff through it, so it's entertaining to me to chase down those little squirrels or whatever. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm just keep slogging along. So are you still generating?
Yeah, slower than I was, but yeah, my plan is just to kind of just get as much of this done by New Year's as I can. I want to have enough so that there's kind of enough there that when it's time to come back to it, that's not a like chore that I have to do and like save this thing, this
Mhm.
abomination. It's
Yeah.
like a project that's in a good place that I'm really excited to like work on and do because the hard work is done, you know. That's what I'm
Mm.
hoping to like create. But
Yeah.
yeah, then in the new year, I'm gonna finish my second chemical marriage novel, and then maybe then I'll do another kind of in between project. Maybe it'll be this, maybe it'll be I've got a couple that I could kind of turn to, and then I'll come back and finish the third chemical marriage novel, which is a little less than halfway through its first draft.
So that's what you're working on right now, the third one, right?
Uh, yeah, I haven't worked on it for a while, but yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I
Oh,
right now, like today, I'm working on my NaNoWriMo project
oh, okay.
until the end of December.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm tracking with you now. Um, well, yeah, I mean, I think that about covers it for me. I feel like there was one other thing it was kind of like wiggling around in my head, but we can get to it on Thursday. Um, yeah, and there's the time. All right, man. Well, I'll see you again on Thursday. We'll just keep the conversation going. I'm excited to see, um, kind of like, I mean, it's helpful for me just to have this check-in. It definitely keeps my head in the game. So, and I'll post the link to that weird plagiarism video below. It's entertaining. It's a good watch.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
All right. Good night.
Yep.